their midweek defeat at Motherwell, while United's aim was to build on last week's win at Hearts. Commentary from Rob McLean.
Dick Advocaat wasn't best pleased with Rangers showing at Motherwell in midweek. That's an understatement. But the only change to his starting 11 is enforced. Jonathan Johansson is injured. Gordon Jury is ruled out as well, so it's the return of Argentinian striker Gabriel Amato. Amato returns to the firing line alongside 11-goal Rod Wallace. George Alberts and Tony Vidmar keep their places, despite being subbed at half-time at Fir Park on Wednesday. That means Arthur Newman continues his comeback on the bench. Gabriel Amato's vital statistics aren't impressive. Only 3 goals so far for Rangers. It's 7.5 weeks since he scored and 5.5 weeks since he played. He's yet to justify his £4 million transfer fee. Another striker with a question mark over his name is Dundee United's Kjell Olofsson. He's the club's top scorer over the last couple of seasons, but the 33-year-old Swede's future at Tannadice could be threatened by the arrival of Billy Dodds and Alex Mathy. All three are named in Paul Sturrock's starting lineup. There's just one change from the 11 who started last week's 1-0 defeat of Hearts. Canadian Jason DeVos drops down to the bench. Icelander Siggy Jonsson takes his place. Here's how they shape up. Veteran Maurice Malpass continues to be a big on-field influence. Teenage midfielder Craig Easton is one who's sure to benefit from the player-coach's experience. The referee for Rangers against Dundee United is Jim McCluskey. Rangers start the match, and I'm sure the voice of Dick Advocaat is still ringing in their ears after that midweek Scottish Premier League defeat that brought to a shuddering end their unbeaten run of 17 games. The last 6 of those had all been won, so that's been hard to take for Rangers, and they now plan to set off on another run. But Dundee United will make things difficult for them. A rejuvenated Dundee United under Paul Sturrock. Here's Colin Hendry playing his 6th match on the trot, having struggled to make the first team breakthrough. A long ball from him, and not much chance of that being caught by Sergio Perini. Little nudge from Mathy and Vidmar. Tony Vidmar won the header anyway. Zetterlund getting the better of Wallace. Now Dodds. Support coming through in the form of Easton. Alex Mathy, Olofsson and Dodds are in the middle. It's a good run from Mathy, and a good ball in as well. The near post flick from Olofsson, not too damaging to the Rangers defence, but it was a good run here by Mathy. Good bit of pace, which took him away, got him to the byline and whipped in the cross. Here's Craig Easton, Alex Mathy on the touchline. Darren Patterson finding Billy Dodds. Back again to the Northern Ireland international. Vidmar's clearance. That was a wild attempt at getting to the ball from Patterson. Advantage being played. I think Van Bronckhorst reckoned the whistle had gone. Now Mathy, and out comes Charbonnier. A lively opening from Mathy. Tremendous work rate, Barry Ferguson, in addition to the undoubted ability he possesses. There's a prime example. Picking out Tony Vidmar, knocked over by Alex Mathy. Free kick against the new arrival at Tannadice. Heavily in here as Vidmar threatened to go beyond him. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst on the free kick. Colin Hendry in the middle. Amaruso is up as well, and Vidmar. Nicely flighted in, headed away by Malpass. Here's Van Bronckhorst. Lovely skill. Controlled it in his chest. Hits the ground. No great appeal from Rangers. Certainly some of the Rangers supporters behind the goal. We're looking for a penalty here for the challenge from Billy Dodds, but Van Bronckhorst himself didn't look too excited about it. Billy Dodds really just trying to usher the ball behind. Alex Matthew brushed aside Lorenzo Amoruso there. Was that a free kick? Yes, it was. At the edge of the area. Defensive lapse from Amoruso, which let Matthew away firstly. And then there was the trip. Matthew waits in the middle. Olofsson is over the ball. 2 in the wall for Rangers. And lots of movement in the penalty area. Olofsson's effort. Good handling from Charbonnier. Had to stop it and had to hold it as well. Because if Charbonnier had let this slip, there might well have been a rebound chance for United. Dundee United working hard at closing down, not giving Rangers any time on the ball. There's an example from Siggy Jonsson. This is promising. Here's Easton lining up the shot, and it was a good one from Craig Easton. That's the best effort on goal so far at either end. Jonsson won it for United, released Easton, and he got a good connection on the shot. Few feet wide, but it was close enough to have Charbonnier diving across goal. Well wrapped up in his overcoat today, Advocat, yelling a few instructions. Amato not with the control to bring the ball down there. Amoruso's clearance came off Dodds. Matthew is onside, racing to keep that in. Easton is the man in the middle. Behind him, it might drop yet for Billy Dodds. Chance for Dodds! Billy Dodds for Dundee United. 25 minutes gone, and this fairy tale spell in the career of Billy Dodds continues. Goal number 4 for his new club. And that's the opening strike at Ibrox, which had Dick Advocat out on the touchline. Not at all happy. Here was how it came about. Fired in by Matthew into the box. It was behind Easton. In came Perini and Zetterlund. The ball broke free. Amoruso was beaten to it by Billy Dodds. Moving on to it at speed as Charbonnier came off his line. The deftest of chips in at the far post. This is superb finishing from Billy Dodds, and it's 1-0 Dundee United. Amato finding Alberts with the header. In for Wallace, knocked down for Van Bronckhorst. He was about to pull the trigger. Here's Hendry. Now Perini. Rod Wallace. In for Amato. Might have been a heading opportunity that at the far post for Gabriel Amato. Chose to go for it with his left foot instead, and it hit the ground and into the arms of Dijkstra. Zetterlund and Easton. Craig Easton, very promising player. Skoldmark, that's a good ball for Matthew. He can pull that back from the byline. And what a chance that was for Kjell Olofsson, right on the penalty spot. He just about missed that completely. Well set up by Matthew, and that could well have been number 2 for Dundee United. This was more than a half chance. A cutback which had the Rangers defence turning, and you'd have put some money on Olofsson firing that shot on target. Controlled well, a difficult ball for Gabriel Amato. Now Alberts moving on at speed. Powerful run, and the run was halted by Morris Malpass's tackle at the edge of the area. The Rangers fans still jeering at the decision made here. They reckon that might have been a foul on George Alberts, but I think we proved there that Maurice Malpas got the ball. George Alberts, nicely controlled pass for Vidmar. Rangers wanted an early ball played in there. Vidmar's throw. Amato's flick. Rod Wallace! What a save, Steve Dykstra. He couldn't have known too much about that. That was pure instinct. It was a lightning effort by Wallace, and so close to his 12th goal of the season. A brilliant stop by Dykstra. Well worth a second look, because he didn't see much of it the first time. Great effort by Wallace, saved by the left foot of Dykstra. Rangers denied an equaliser with 11 minutes to go to half-time. Amato unable to make much of that. Came off Skuldmark. And the Rangers defence sliced open there with great ease. Here's Billy Dodds. Across comes Barry Ferguson and Shell Olofsson. Rangers in disarray. And another chance for United. Billy Dodds looked up and saw Olofsson making a late run on the far side. It got beyond Barry Ferguson, and the combination of Ferguson and Charbonnier was enough to put off Olofsson as he was in the act of shooting. Wallace couldn't control it. Darren Patterson was very quickly into the tackle, and that's half-time. And there's the man whose goal separates these two sides after 45 minutes. A typical piece of opportunism from Billy Dodds. Amoruso was caught static at the edge of the area. In came Dodds, and what a brilliant finish that was. Amoruso was waiting for it, Dodds wasn't. And as he moved in at pace, he found the perfect chip to beat both Hendry and Charbonnier. It went in at the far post. But United owe a debt to Steve Dykstra as well for a quite superb save there from Rod Wallace with his left foot. And at half-time, as the players head into their dressing rooms, it's Rangers 0, Dundee United 1. And right at the start of the second half, Rangers make a change. It's the same change they made after 45 minutes at Fir Park on Wednesday. Arthur Newman is on for Tony Vidmar. Dundee United get the match restarted, and they'll be delighted with their efforts in the first 45 minutes. It's been a real tactical success for them under the guidance of Paul Sturrock. And well, may he be smiling, because it's gone according to plan in the first half. Very tight defensively and counter-attacking to some effect with Dodds, Mathy and Olofsson. And Rangers have a big job on their hands to work their way back into this game. Long ball from Amoruso, flicked on by Kanchelskis. Across comes Malpas. Amato back onto the left foot. Good tackle by Maurice Malpas. Waited his moment and timed it perfectly. Perini is away from Zetterlund. It's George Alberts, and it's off target. Well, he's mastering the language pretty well by the looks of it. Not pleased with that effort. That's well within his range. But Rangers were foiled here by the experience and the wile of Malpas. What a great challenge that was. Hendry won that aerial duel with Billy Dodds. Zetterlund's pass intercepted by Newman. Skuldmark trying to play a 1-2 with Mathy. Good play from Newman, and good distribution from Charbonnier. Chance for Alberts to make some progress. Now Van Bronckhorst. Wallace. There's Amato! Saved by Dykstra. It was a decent chance for Amato, and credit to him, he did put the header on target. as Rangers linked well down the left side. There was a good ball in from Wallace, a high hanging ball at the far post, and good goalkeeping from Dijkstra. Good play from Arthur Newman, away from Maffey. Still going. Not the finish to go with the build-up, but he did so well, Newman, to work that opening. Good pace, good control of the ball as well. And as he cut onto the right foot, he saw the chance to shoot a goal. Big mistake there by Lorenzo Amato. Thankfully for him, Billy Dodds didn't know too much about it. That was very dangerous at the edge of your own penalty area. Amato, good play, cleared by Malpass. And again. Amato to Alberts, lining up the shot, Josh Alberts! It was a sizzler, and it wasn't too far off target. And just skimmed the roof of the net on its way over. And Dundee United will be looking at themselves here because they stood back off Alberts, and he doesn't need too much encouragement. Sieb Dijkstra was happy to see this go over the top. Jonsson did well against Amato. Now Dodds. Trying to link up with Kjell Olofsson. Paul Sturrock wasn't too impressed. Hendry looking for Kanchelskis. In the way was Pasquale. Back defending, Kjell Olofsson. Sliced into the middle of the field. Ferguson back to Amato. Now Hendry. Slipped as he played it. Foul by Pasquale on Kanchelskis. And that allows Rangers the opportunity to push Hendry and Amato into the area after that foul. Full of concentration there, Sieb Dijkstra. He's been important to United already in the match. In from Van Bronckhorst, took a ricochet off Wallace. Now Alberts. That's for Newman. Free at the far post, that was Amato. That was Hendry. And that was Rod Wallace. That's 1-1. 18 minutes of the second half gone. I think a fair bit of relief there for Dick Advocat and the Rangers supporters, as well as the obvious delight. It's been a frustrating match so far, and it's taken more than an hour for Rangers to put the ball in the net. And again, the goal down to the sharpness of Wallace, but it was well built up. Well-weighted pass from Alberts. The pullback from Arthur Newman. It was knocked back at the far post by Amato, turned in by Hendry, and fired into the net by Rod Wallace. That's 12 for the season for Rod Wallace. Rangers looking a bit more purposeful now. Ferguson and Kanchelskis. That's for Hendry. Short with the pass for Alberts. George Alberts did well though. Superb pass for Newman. And picked out of the air by Sieb Dijkstra. But Arthur Newman is having a big impact on this match. Since the change was made at half-time, Rangers a different team. Good quality balls being played in. Billy Dodds on the counter-attack. In for Easton. As for Olofsson, and out comes Charbonnier. Good throw as well for Alberts. Wallace trying to get in behind Patterson. He does so much work in a match, Wallace, apart from his obvious scoring potential. Newman's flick headed away by Jonsson. Sturrock waiting too long. That was good play from Van Bronckhorst to get it back. Newman, Ferguson, lovely touch. Perini slipped as he tried to play the ball in. Unlucky there, Sergio Perini. It was well built up. It was the deftest of touches from Barry Ferguson. Look how he brought that ball under control and played the pass all in the one movement. But sadly for Rangers, Perini lost his footing just there. Colin Hendry easily dealt with by Patterson. Alberts and Newman link so well. It's another good ball played in by Arthur Newman, and again picked out of the air by Dijkstra. And the handling had to be good here because Gabriel Amato was lurking in behind him. And this ball was also in danger of dropping in under the crossbar, but it was well played by Dijkstra. Shouting the odds at the touchline, Paul Sturrock, his assistant. John Blackley, who does most of the verbal, is just in front of him. In from Pasquale, took a touch off Jim McCluskey and almost offered up a chance there for Alex Matthey. He's disappointed that he couldn't keep that down. This was fortune for United. It just brushed Jim McCluskey's back, and too high the effort from Alex Matthey. Jonsson trying to free himself of the attentions of Pasquale. Now Newman. He's away from Stoltmark, playing the 1-2 with Van Bronckhorst. Turned behind by Patterson. But good link up there between the two Dutchmen. Know each other's play very well, these two, and it shows. And Patterson forced into conceding the corner kick. Played in by Van Bronckhorst. Colin Hendry's header, flashing wide. Won it well, but couldn't put the header on target. Amato kept that in, but only for Pasquale. It's a slip by the Frenchman. Here's Kanchelskis. Off Malpass, corner kick. Pasquale was looking for a free kick further back, didn't get it, and it offered up a chance to Kanchelskis. Instructions to Pasquale there from Malpass to keep cool, keep concentration, so important. The corner kick in from Van Bronckhorst, and out a fair way off his line. To grab it was Siep Dijkstra. One Dutchman to another, that was Arthur Newman. Now Ferguson and Alberts. Newman again, important presence for Rangers. Chased by Wallace, hammered out of play by Darren Patterson. The throw goes all the way back to Barry Ferguson. That's for Hendry. Allowed the ball to slip under his foot. Amoruso there competing with Charbonnier to get at the ball first. And that's an aimless delivery into the box. Colin Hendry probing at the United defence, chased by Amato, and he wins the corner kick. Put enough pressure on there, Gabriel Amato, to force Bernard Pasquale to concede the corner. Hendry is up in the area. Torini and Amoruso are there as well, in addition to Wallace and Amato. Delivered by Van Bronckhorst, and that's 2-1. Sieb Dijkstra was a spectator there as Lorenzo Amoruso bulleted a header into the back of the net. 5 minutes of the match left, lost by Dijkstra, and that may well have been an own goal of Siggy Jonsson. The contact there seemed to come off the Dundee United defender. Amoruso certainly went for it, so that may have flown off the head of Jonsson. Completely lost by Sieb Dijkstra. He wasn't near it, and the credit, unfortunately for Siggy Jonsson, I think will go to him. 5 minutes left, 2-1 Rangers. Matthew trying to find a way into the box, cleared by Amoruso. Here's Jonsson. And Skoldmark. Too close to Charbonnier. Chance to play a damaging ball into the box. It wasn't. Zetterlund slipped. Barry Ferguson plays it through. Rod Wallace is onside. Did that come off the arm of Maurice Malpass? I think it did, but it wasn't deliberate, and it's a corner kick. Rod Wallace raises his eyebrows. He thought he might well have had a penalty kick there for handball against Malpass. He's never entirely happy, Dick Advocat, but he'll certainly be satisfied now with the scoreline. It's a Dundee United throw. Rod Wallace won't be too upset because the seconds are ticking away towards what he hopes, and a lot of people inside Ibrox hope, will be a Rangers victory. And Dundee United, who've put so much into this match, end up a beaten team. They were one up at half-time thanks to Billy Dodds. It was Rod Wallace who equalised with his 12th goal of the season, so sharp in front of goal. He proved it yet again. What a steal he's been, a free transfer from Leeds United. And then 5 minutes from the end of the regulation 90, Rangers won the match. May well be credited as an own goal to Siggy Jonsson. It appeared to fly in off his head, although Lorenzo Amoruso may well be trying to claim it as his second goal of the season as well. It was he who made the challenge for the ball. It looked to fly in off Jonsson. Sieb Dijkstra was lost, and Dundee United at that point were a beaten team. 1-0 up at half-time. At the end, beaten by 2-1. Rangers stay top of the Scottish Premier League. Rangers 2, Dundee United.
Obviously disappointed. I thought our first half performance is the best we've played away from home. It was the old cliche, a game of two halves. We definitely merited what we achieved in the first half and maybe a wee bit more, but the second half you can't sit back with the quality players that Rangers have and expect to hold out.
You were always troubling Rangers in that first half on the break.
Yeah, well, you know, we had a set plan out, you know, and I thought Alex Matthew, Shell and Dodds did very well on the break. But the second half we just seemed to fall back that 10-15 yards, which meant that we couldn't really get early support to the front men. And
forward, is he someone who's got a future, a longer term future under you here?
well, as I say, I told everybody at the start to impress me, if they're wanting new contracts. Bosman's here now to say, it's reared its ugly head, and we've just got to get on with it. But I would be very hopeful I can talk to Shell over the next couple of weeks and sort.
Match on tape. Did Rangers deserve that?
Yeah, I watched the whole game, and I think over the piece they did deserve it. Dundee United had a lot of the first half and did well and created chances, but as the game wore on, as Paul Sturrock said, they sat back too much.
United's success in recent years has been based on that three-pronged attack, hasn't it? And we saw that again this afternoon. It looked to be effective.
Yeah, they were. They're pacey up front as well, and they've got three players who can get in behind and run in behind. Rangers were very, very slack at times as well at the back, and we see examples of how they get in behind. There's Easton plays the ball, and then it's delivered right in behind that Rangers defence. It's George Alberts who's well in behind even Vidmar there, and it's Olofsson had a great opportunity. It was already 1-0 at that point, and that could have put them 2-0 up, and it would have been very, very difficult for Rangers to get back in it. Olofsson not doing very well, although he did play a big hand in most of Dundee United's good attacks in that first half. Here's Amato coming forward. Look out, you've got Amato and Vidmar both caught forward there. And when Billy Dodds picks this up and runs on with it, you look where Colin Henry is. I mean, the total disarray in the Rangers' defence at times as Dundee United broke against them. Billy Dodds delivers the ball to the back post. Olofsson comes in on it, and look who's the two furthest defenders back the way there as Barry Ferguson and Van Bronckhorst.
Isn't that the job the midfielders should be doing?
Well, not really at times. Not when the defence is all pulled out the position. Perini was away up at the edge of the box. But just before that, and Vidmar's lost it in the halfway line. Here's another example. The ball's given away. Billy Dodds picks up. This is actually the goal. It's knocked forward there. Billy Dodds is the one that passes the ball forward. It's picked up by Matthew, who made a lot of runs into that right hand side. He's delivered it in. Perini gets a good challenge in. Look at Amato dwelling on it here. Billy Dodds comes in, robs him, and scores. I mean, Lorenzo Amato, a defender, really shouldn't be taking that kind of chance. I mean, Rangers have virtually got the danger away. Amato should keep going back the way here. Perini gets in a good challenge. It comes to Amato. He should just be coming back towards his own goal. He should just hook that away as far as he can. Tries to do a little turn in the box. Billy Dodds rods him. That's a great finish. A la Kendall Gleeson, I think it was a 78 European Cup final against Bruges.
We seem to talk almost every week about mistakes in that Rangers defence, and particularly when Lorenzo Amaruso is involved. And you're going to show us on your tactics table tonight exactly what some of the problems are.
Well, they get away with a lot of the mistakes because they are a good side. Rangers have been playing well recently. But if you take the example that Rangers play with a back four, they've got four players there. You've got to really just keep your shape. OK, the fullbacks want to get forward on either side. If a fullback gets forward there, the other three players should fit in there, and that should be enough control. What you get with Rangers at times is this situation where Vidmar's up the park on this side, you've got Perini getting up here, Colin Henry was sitting in, and then you've got Amaruso tries to win the ball in here, and when they lose possession of the ball, as we saw there, Colin Henry's caught in there. Total disarray, because what happened was Van Bronckhorst and Barry Ferguson are the two guys that are having to get back, and there was a lot of occasions today when actually Ferguson, Alberts at times, Van Bronckhorst, we're all having to get away back in there and help because the shape is out the window as Amaruso is coming to try and win balls further up the field, and there's a total disarray at times in the back four and not a good organisation at times. I'm sure Dick Arbacca was very angry at half time.
So real uncertainty there, but in the United defence, that's not something we see too often with Maurice Malpass at the heart of it, is it?
No, it's not. Rangers did tighten up in the second half, I have to say. I think the manager had a word to say about it, but here's a situation where Maurice Malpass comes out the back four, plays it, almost finds himself on the halfway line, which would give Maurice a nosebleed these days.
He's in reverse at that point.
He is. He doesn't want to be that far up the field. This is a great challenge. That's his trademark. Just reading it perfectly. Rangers fans are wanting a foul there, but it was perfectly timed. There he is coming out. They play a back three, Dundee United, so Malpass can afford to come out from the back and try and win things because two other centre backs are there. Wins the header, he gets himself in the right positions all the time, reads it, comes out and knocks the ball away. He's such a great servant, and players like Malpass can keep going. We saw Ray Montgomery, I saw him today play really well, 37 years of age. Why not Maurice Malpass, even though I think he's 36 now, although there he is giving away a penalty.
Was that really a penalty?
Yeah.
He meant that?
I think it was. I think it was deliberate handball, yeah. I think that should have been a penalty kick.
OK, Rangers were without Jonathan Johansson, who has been a revelation for them this season. It was Gabriel Amato who was brought in. What did you make of his performance?
Well, I think that you have to give Gabriel Amato a bit of time. The one thing about him is that he's got decent ability, decent control, but I don't think he's got much pace. And the way Rangers have been operating recently is to have plenty of pace in attacking positions. Johansson's quick, Jury when he's back is quick. You've got Wallace, who's a very speedy player, very mobile player, but Amato basically isn't that type of player. He wants the ball to feet, he wants to take people on at times. Did quite well in the air at times. I mean, he wins a decent header here, gets in a good knockdown there, the keeper not Doesn't have much problem with it there. Here's an example of what he does. He slows up the attack at times, not so much on the edge of the box positions, but he keeps possession of the ball, tries to dribble, loses possession, and he loses that from time to time. He loses the ball quite a lot.
So the jury out on Amato, but not on Rod Wallace.
Great save there. Great save from Dykstra, because that is a good effort from Rod Wallace. Not out on Rod Wallace at all. I think the Rangers fans and everybody would agree that he's been a superb signing. I mean, he's very, very sharp. He does an awful lot of work as well. George Alberts does brilliantly here. Just holds it for the right moment. Newman, who made a big difference coming on in the second half, delivers the cross. Amato wins it again. Colin Henry doesn't get a good shot, but look at that. That's brilliant striking. In the box, back to goal, but he's come towards the ball and just knocked it in the net. That's the ball I'm talking about. The perfectly weighted pass from George Alberts. Newman got in behind loads of times in the second half, and he does well there, Amato. Not a good shot from Henry, but look at the way Wallace just reacts there. That's all that is. That's just instinct in front of goal.
It's a 12th goal of the season for Rod Wallace. We have in the last couple of matches seen Arthur Newman being reintroduced from the half-time. You've said already he looks to be making a real difference.
Well, I think Wiedma did pretty well. I think he came on to a game, but there's no doubt about it that it's a big step up in class with Arthur Newman. I think he's a tremendous player. Look at his ability to get in behind defenders there. Doesn't deliver a great cross, you have to say, but it's that ability and that pace he's got to get beyond the midfield, get in behind, and look at there once again, the little burst at the right time, and delivers across to the back post.
And a great understanding, it seems, being built up there with George Alberts down the left-hand side for Rangers.
Well, it's understanding is because George Alberts has got the ability to see a pass and deliver a perfectly weighted pass, and then that's exactly what he's able to do. That time Dundee Utd got it away, but Newman came in and kept getting at them.
What about this goal then? Rob called it as a Siggy Jonsson own goal. Would you agree?
Yes, I do. I think I'm sorry to take it
so
away
what's
from
that all
Amato.
about then?
I think that's just absolutely relief from Amato, because he knows he was responsible for some of the chances Dundee to have, and if not even the goal. But I think that's a non-goal.
Okay, what about Dundee United generally? I mean, there was some suggestion there that Dykstra may have been fouled. I think you dismissed that. But United, will they take a lot from that game?
I think they'll take a lot out of the first half performance. They did very well in terms of their organisation and creating chances, but really as the game went on, they fell more and more out of it as Rangers came stronger.
Okay, well, coming up now, our second Scot Celtic, who had Stephen Mahy sent off. Killie have now equalled their best ever run in the Premier, 9 games unbeaten. St Jonsson and Dunfermline drew 1 each. David Weir's own goal gave Dundee a narrow win at Dens over Hearts and moved them up to 5th, their highest league placing since August 1989. Hearts haven't scored